I've been living in Spain for about 5 months, and I've noticed some things. I've noticed that Spain does some things way better than the US does. So that's what we're doing today. Here are my favorite things that Spain does way better than the US. So here I am near the center of Valencia, Spain, and if you live in the US, you know that there is a severe lack of castles. Spain doesn't really have that problem. So I am near the center of the city, and behind me we have this guy. Crazy. Just hanging out, just casually, and once you go through it, you start walking towards like into the center of the city, which is really, really cool. Some people have corrected me and said that this is not a castle. It's more of a tower, but compared to anything we have in the US, it's a freaking castle. So one of my favorite things that Spain does way better than the US is castles, but also just architecture in general. Architecture here is so freaking beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna take us a little closer so we can get a look at what it looks like inside and when you pass through it. One thing that isn't super obvious from the outside is that there are these giant doors. I've never actually seen them close, but they will definitely keep people out if that's what the purpose is. There's also like a tiny door here, and it's strange because I'm not very tall, and it's shorter than me. Were people just shorter back in the day? Is that what it is? And then we have like these like posts on the other side. I'm assuming it looks like they would have guards up there or something, but it's just crazy. Like, this is just a casual part of the city. Like, I just think that's wild. And then once you get to the other side, you can see all this beautiful architecture that I mentioned earlier. Like, whenever I walk through this part of town, it kind of just feels like unreal. I can't explain it. Like, if you're from the US, you know that most of the US, aside from the city, is nothing but shopping centers and parking lots and highways. This is something that Spain is definitely doing way better than the US is doing. Architecture, just beautiful, beautiful. So one thing I've just gone on and on about that I love here in Spain is the baked goods. And it is insane how good like the grocery store baked goods are. Obviously higher end stuff is delicious, but the stuff that costs like €1, €2 at the grocery store is phenomenal. So that's my second favorite thing that I think Spain does way better than the US. Grocery store baked goods are delicious. I went to a grocery store called Consum, which is everywhere. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a taste test here. So, first thing I bought is an empanadilla de pollo. It is €1.35. I've had this before and I love it. And for context, the euro is about the equivalent as a US dollar. So this cost me about $1.35. The biggest thing is that it's cold. Like this is not heated up or anything. And it's so good just right out of the packaging. It's inside is very like creamy, but it's very flavorful. Even though it's kind of creamy inside, the actual bread has a little bit of a crunch to it, which is really nice. Next thing I got was something sweet. I got these Consum donuts, which cost me 72 cent euros, which is crazy. Shout out to Kyra. Kyra actually put me on these. 72-cent donuts from the grocery store. You wouldn't think would be great, but these are fantastic. This easily beats any donut you would probably find at a grocery store in the US. Last thing I got was this tuna pizza. And the only reason I got this, I've actually never had this despite me trying a lot of the grocery store baked goods. And the reason I got it was because it's just everywhere. There's tuna on pizza here everywhere in like the baked goods section. So I figured this was a good time as any to give it a try. You guys can see pizza de atún. I only kind of like tuna, so we'll see how this tastes. It definitely kind of smells like seafood, which is crazy because it's a pizza. It resembles like the pizza you would eat in elementary school. Low key, it kind of works. I don't think this would be my go-to by any means, but like, the marinara and the cheese complements the tuna really well, actually. I was kind of afraid that the flavor of the tuna would be too overpowering for this, but it actually goes pretty well. It very much fits in with the rest of the flavor profiles. And it's crazy how cheap all this was. This all cost me $3.96. I definitely wouldn't order all of this on any given day because I didn't finish any of this, you know. And this is definitely more than sufficient to eat for lunch. It's kind of crazy that you can buy a lunch that will actually be filling for like less than €4. Usually I only really spend about 2. I can't think of anything that is made at a Target or at a Walmart that is this good and this cheap. And even though this is the last thing on my list, it's arguably the most important, and that is the work-life balance in Spain. Spain definitely does work-life balance way better than the US does. And just to exemplify that, here is a rundown of what my day looks like here. As an English teacher, I arrive at school at 9 a.m. It's time to educate some students. Class starts at 9:15 a.m. And we're in class until 11 a.m. when the kids have their almuerzo. Almuerzo is a time when the students go outside to play and eat sandwiches. And yes, the sandwich part applies to the teachers. Almuerzo essentially translates to lunchtime, but here in Spain it's more of a snack time and it doubles as their recess. At 11:30, class resumes until 1 p.m. when everyone goes home for 2 hours. 2 hours! Isn't that crazy? And then the kids who stay at school have their proper lunchtime. 1 p.m. is usually around the time siesta starts. Siesta directly translates to nap, but for a lot of people here, it can just mean a midday break. At 3 p.m., school resumes, and then we all go home at 4:30. And it's just kind of crazy because I've been told by multiple Spaniards here that their philosophy is not work to live, which is a lot of people's lifestyle in the US. A lot of people in the US, including myself, we would work for the weekends, you know, but here it's a little different. And even though I definitely believe the US can benefit from more castles and nicer architecture and cheaper, better tasting baked goods and pastries, I think the most important thing that they can take away from a country like Spain is the work-life balance. Life shouldn't be all work just to live for 2 days. We're only on this planet a limited time, so we gotta make the best of it. We gotta try to find enjoyment in every day. And stressing ourselves out every day working just ain't it. Because I truly believe that we were not meant to work our asses off just to enjoy 48 hours of our 7-day week. So US government, if you wanna implement a siesta, I don't think anyone would be opposed to it. Alright, peace.